Alrighty guys, we're back for Starving Combo, and this is a Duskmourn standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a suggestion over in the Discord, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. So what's the combo? It's between Starving Revenant and Marina Vendrell's Grimoire, which is a 6-mana legendary artifact. When it enters, if you cast it, draw 5 cards. You have no maximum hand size, and you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. Now, whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, discard that many cards. Then if you have no cards in hand, you lose the game. A super interesting card, isn't it? We're pairing this with that Starving Revenant, where it's a 4-mana, 4/4. When it enters, you surveil 2. Then for each card you put on top of your library, you draw a card and lose 3 life. Okay. Now it has Descend 8 here, so whenever you draw a card, if there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So let's go back to the Grimoire real quick. It does say whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. So you gain life off the Revenant, you draw a card with the Grimoire, then you gain life off the Revenant, then you draw a card with Grimoire. But more importantly, while you're doing this, each time the opponent is also losing 1 life. So a nice little infinite combo there. However, not completely infinite, because you have to have more cards in your library than the opponent does, than the opponent has in life, right? Other words, you're just going to draw your library completely and then not win, and then that's it. You lose instead. That's very important to note. Maybe we actually want to consider more than 60 cards in here just in case. So for the Descend 8, we have to have a whole bunch of permanents packed in. How many permanents do we got? All of them except for 2 instants and 2 sorceries. Everything else is a permanent. So the 2 instants is a couple Bitter Triumphs because good removal is important. And then the 2 sorceries is a couple Terror Tides, which I don't believe I've been able to play with before. I'm not sure, honestly. A 4-mana sorcery with Fathomless Descent. All creatures get -X until end of turn, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. Hopefully, this does a thing today. I mean, we're opting for a couple of them, so we'll see, So how are we going to get stuff into the grave? Well, we got the brand spanking new Overlord of the Balemurk here. We're going to do some rearranging because sure, it's a 5-mana 5/5, but it has Impending 5 for just 1 and a black, which I would say you play that side of the card way more often than just paying all 5 mana for it. So when it enters or attacks, mill 4 cards. Then you may return a non-avatar creature card or a planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. Pretty good ability, man. Other ways to mill, we got 3 Invasion of Amonkhet in here. We do have an Everflowing Well as well. Then we have a bunch of other cards that work well once we have cards in the graveyard, like 3 Tidecaller Mentors, for example. 3-mana 3/3 with Menace is pretty decent, but it also has Threshold. So when it enters, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, which actually happens to be pretty decent tempo, right? So other removal packed in is actually just going to be more permanents. We have 4 Nowhere to Run. 2-mana enchantment with Flash. When it enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -3/-3 until end of turn. Creatures your opponents control can be targets of spells and abilities as though they didn't have hexproof. And then also ward abilities of those creatures don't trigger. That is actually pretty decent. And every time we played with it so far, it has been a decent card. Other permanent removal, kinda sorta, Unable to Scream. All 4 of them packed in. It is a 1 blue mana aura. Enchant a creature. The enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a toy artifact creature with base power and toughness 0/2 in addition to its other types. As long as enchanted creature is face down, it can't be turned face up as well. So nice little addition there, I suppose, right? Because we are seeing Manifest Dread pop up. Yeah, all 4 of them. I hope it does a thing today. Also, a couple Stalactite Stalkers, which can also kind of be considered removal with that bottom ability potentially, right? And just working with all the extra mill and stuff that we have packed in. So when you're rocking the Starving Revenant, like extra ways to draw is actually really good. So we actually have a 1 of Teferi Temporal Pilgrim, which also really likes it when we draw extra. So if we only like see the Teferi and the Grimoire, for example, that's actually pretty decent because 6 mana, draw 5 cards after a turn 5 Teferi just seems really, really good, right? Oh, we also have a one of Ancient One in here. Hopefully that does a thing. Okay, guys, in the mana base, we got all 4 Fabled Passage. Just more ways to put permanents into our grave. All that's going to be important. We have all the Surveil lands, more ways to put permanents into our grave. We have a Restless Reef in here as well to potentially mill ourselves. The brand spanking new Gloomlake Verge too, leaning a little bit towards swamps because that's what the deck is leaning towards. Over in the honorable mentions, guys, it looks like I have a cut down over here because early removal has been very, very important. So I guess your removal of choice matters. For example, if you really don't like Stalactite Stalker in here and you just find that you need more early removal, cut down is definitely one to consider. The Chupacabra Echo almost made the cut. Sheoldred, I wanted to bring this up because if the card does not drain your opponent's life, then you're just going to end up milling yourself out by drawing your entire deck with the Grimoire, right? So that's why Sheoldred did not make the cut. Thought about the brand spanking new Kaito. I'm actually pretty excited to try this out. It has that 0 ability for Surveil too, so actually kind of feels like it would work in here, but didn't make the cut this time. Also considered Aklizotes on the top end. Maybe as a one-of, could be cool. Okay, guys, hopefully that's everything. I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. Heck yeah, we do. What am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be janky, but I don't know. I'm like, okay. I'm actually expecting a lot, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure it's going to be janky. You know what I mean? Okay. I think we have 25 total mana in here. I think. I hope. Because things are expensive. Yeah, we're going to keep this. I think we can easily find more mana off the top when it comes time. Especially with the Surveil on the Sewers for turn 1. Turn 2 Overlord wouldn't be terrible. I'm kind of afraid to mill a bunch of land away, though. I will keep the Fabled Passage on top. Now I am no longer afraid to mill a bunch of land away. Okay, also Surveil and keep on top. Alright. Impending 5. Let's mill and grab a creature potentially. Oh no, our Grimoire. Well, it is the main combo piece in here, so there's a reason we have all 4 of them, right? Another Overlord. Cool. Get the Fabled Passage down. Question is, do I want to thin the deck before the Overlord? I think the answer is yes. We'll grab another black source. The Overlord might not even hit. Second one wouldn't be a terrible counterspell for the opponent. But it does get an extra permanent to the grave for us as well, so... Or either way, I mean, it was going to mill 4 too, so... that is already 6 out of 8 for the Descend on the Revenant, which is kind of insane, huh? Invasion of Amonkhet can come down next turn. Glock Prankster. Alright, we've been seeing a lot of these mini reanimators pop up recently. Right, so the 4th mana is really good. The question is, do we go right into Revenant? I mean, they're tapped out right now, so that wouldn't be terrible. I do know that these builds have a lot of tempo, though. Bouncing Revenant would be pretty bad. Go like Stalactite Stalker into Amonkhet? That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Though, giving the opponent some discard could be bad. Alright, it's probably Revenant while we have the chance here to get it on the board while they're tapped out, right? So, I don't mind seeing the mana. Losing 3 life could be bad. We'll send the Invasion. We already have one in hand. We're going to need more mana when it comes time to play the Grimoire. I hope this is okay. I hope that's fine. Yeah, next turn we'll go ahead and get the Descend 8 on the Revenant. See, we could have sent both of them already had that Descend, but then I don't know. This doesn't seem worthwhile sending our 5th mana. Because there's a chance we might actually struggle to see our 6th. Oh, Into the Floodmaw was revealed, guys. How long was that revealed? How long was that face up? Ow. First of all, that Hottie is hitting hard. Is that what they grabbed with the Picklock Prankster? Must have. Must have been. There's our 6th. Okay, we'll get the Verge down. Attempt the Invasion of Amonkhet. We do have 2 open to play around a Phantom Interference, luckily. Oh, 3 steps ahead. Darn, guys. These counterspells recently have been really hitting. All right. Well, luckily they're tapped out, so we do have the Bitter Triumph for the turn on the Hottie Djinn. We will have a decent swing as well. Yeah, while they're tapped out, we should definitely do this, and I'm going to get rid of the Stalactite Stalker. Call me crazy. I just want to keep the 6th mana just in case we see Grimoire off the top, which I don't think it would be unheard of. I don't want to take the 3 because I think it would be too easy. Yeah, we're going to go for the discard, and I hope that's okay. Get it tapped out. Perfect time to get rid of that card. And then Grimoire off the top, right? Let's do this. Let's see, there's 3 remaining, right? 3 remaining and 42 cards. Easy peasy. It's an easy top deck. Recommission, bring back that Hottie Djinn. Ooh, Tidecaller Mentor. Okay. They're going to bounce the Revenant. See, if they bounce it, they don't have a counterspell open then, since they only got the 1 island. Probably a tough decision for the opponent, honestly. All right. Play the mana. Attempt the Tidecaller. The Overlord's about to... Wow, it lands, guys. Perfect. Let's bounce that Hottie Djinn. Great tempo. Go for the swing. This is anyone's game easily, guys. Easily. So the Overlord is now a creature. Oh, they pass it back. They're just going to keep a counterspell open, I'm imagining here, right? But so more mana. Probably start with the swing and then go Revenant. Because whatever they end up doing, like if tempo-wise or something, they're going to go Soul Partition on the Overlord. Does that affect the impending cost? I forget right now. Oh, Teferi could be pretty good. Also, just like a second Revenant wouldn't be bad here. Also, a second Mentor wouldn't be bad here. Let's go Teferi. I think Teferi could really tip the scales for us. I'm very curious. Yes, it does affect the impending. As you can see here, GG opponent, really? Oh, I would have loved to play that out. Oh. Well, I'll take it. That was a good game, actually. We actually got to showcase a lot of the build. Didn't get to pull off the combo, unfortunately. But I was trying to show that when we were highlighting over the Overlord, the impending cost was +2 from the Soul Partition too. It had 4 of our lands ready to auto-tap. So that's interesting. So I'm guessing the concede was they don't have a counterspell for the Teferi, right? Only 1 island open. And Teferi was probably going to start tipping the scales pretty fast there. Especially once we got Revenant back on the board established too. That could be a lot of extra life gain every turn. Cool stuff, man. That was pretty sick. I wish I could have played it out, but I can't complain too much. Alright, let's keep the ball rolling. Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of what's being called the Azorus Oculus builds. Of course, I love to call him Mini Reanimator because it's adorable to call it just Mini Reanimation. You know what I mean? And that's what it's doing. Opponent goes first. Nowhere to run is decent early removal. It's like anything that goes -X or something like that is actually really good against the current mono red builds too. So we keep this for sure. It's not a bad hand. Canal. Nowhere to run. Start with the Surveil. Terror Tide. We don't know what we're up against yet. Is it colors? Is it colors could go wide? I haven't seen like otters at all recently. I'm going to keep it on top because sending it, it's not like we're adding permanents to the grave anyways. Okay, Thundering Falls. We'll definitely go into the turn 2 Overlord. Mill 4. Ooh, okay. Grab a Stalactite Stalker. So unfortunately, we milled a Grimoire again with our first Overlord. That's what happened last time. Okay, Simulacrum Synthesizer. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to be happy about this Terror Tide. However, they could easily get over that -X, right? So Mentor's not ready to bounce the Synthesizer yet. We could be in a lot of danger here. We're just going to awkwardly play Stalactite Stalker and keep the Nowhere to Run open. We might be in a lot of danger here, especially if we don't see our 4th mana next turn. It's going to be pretty essential to see. We milled away our Fabled Passage, unfortunately. Fourth for the opponent. Oh, passing it back. Crap. Maybe they just think we have a counterspell open. Another Terror Tide. That's not terrific, guys. It really isn't. Playing Mentor could be okay. Again, it's really the only... Maybe we just pass back. Well, let's start with the swing, see what happens to our Stalactite Stalker. Gonna get picked up here. It gets through. And I'm just gonna pass. At least, if nothing else for the turn, at least we got rid of a counter on the Overlord. Yeah, 4th would have been good, but let's be real too. If we found our 4th, what are the odds of the opponent dropping a counterspell on our Starving Revenant or something, right? So maybe it was for the best. I think the opponent might be holding back to play around counter spells. We are still missing the 4th, guys. Definitely regretting the early Overlord play here because we lost that Fabled Passage. However, it was still at the bottom of everything, right? Maybe we do... Crap. Seems really bad to do nothing, but at least the opponent's also doing nothing, but they're establishing mana, though. All right. We're just going to pass it back, guys. We have to discard here, too. We're far from Teferi, but we might need that Teferi. Unfortunately, I think the Terror Tides might be too far away once they start establishing a bunch here. It's probably one of the Nowhere to Runs. Because, again, yeah, -3. At least the Terror Tides are hitting -4 now. They're passing it back, guys. Come on, 4th mana. No, it's not the 4th mana. Oh, crap. What do you guys think? Do we just we stick to what we're doing, right? At least, again, at least Overlord's going to be a 5/5 here. That'll help us mill. That'll make these Terror Tides pretty devastating. Well, I'm going to keep the combo cards in hand. I think maybe it is the discard of the Teferi this time, because we might need this Unable to Scream. The Nowhere to Run, yeah. Maybe it's Nowhere to Run again. The dispersal actually might help me out significantly. Of course, this is the end, but we might be able to do that next turn if we don't see mana again. Of course, we can't pick up mana from it either, but at least it is something to consider. Maybe we play the Nowhere to Run. No, probably not. We'll just keep making them think, torch the tower, you monster. All right. All right, maybe I'm actually really stuck on what to discard here. I want the Tidecaller Mentor. All right, Nowhere to Run. Yeah, that's fine. Wait, 2 cards. Crap, they bounced one. Okay, Teferi, right? This is rough, man. I don't know. We're just not seeing the mana we need. I should double check to make sure we do have 25 in here, but... Okay, they were, in fact, not playing around a counterspell, so keeping all this open was unnecessary. Okay, Invasion of Amonkhet. We do have options. This is good because we'll draw, but I'm afraid that we're going to be milling 3 lands off the top here. What else are we going to do, right? There's only 1 land. There's not a lot going on. So they made it so that way they don't have a maximum hand size at the beginning of your end step draw card. Oh, that's a lot, dude. That's a lot of extra cards. Hey, there we go. We found the 4th, guys. Now, when are they going to start producing stuff with this synthesizer? These Terratides really ramped up there fast, right? Once we were able to start milling and stuff. Oh, there they go. Season of Weaving, guys. Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. This is just way too many turns without mana. Oh, definitely gonna play it out, though, because this is, like, definitely... Like, the opponent is gonna know how to get the job done. It's not gonna take, like, 10 turns, probably. Another Nowhere to Run, too. So, 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6 mana in the top 23. That seems pretty bad, actually. I'd love to get that Starving Revenant down, but we probably should just wipe the board, right? Probably should. That doesn't mean that they're not just going to reproduce all the constructs again this turn. There's still a possibility of survival. We just need 2 turns, right, to get the Revenant established and the Grimoire on the board too. Honestly, against this build right now, had we seen the mana, I do think that would have been completely possible. Braided Net comes down. Yep, 3 more constructs. There are 7 7s. We draw extra. There's some mana, guys. Okay, it's Surveil too, so we get to decide if we want to keep sending it. Because it's just going to be another Terratide for the turn. See, they got 21 on the board. We could take 1 out with the Unable to Scream next turn while playing the Revenant. So they're going to, again, they're going to probably produce 3 more next turn is the big thing here. If they have like a flash artifact that produces a couple artifacts, they can actually get around this pretty effectively. Also have Tidecaller Mentor. We're just going to wipe the board again, though. Tidecaller Mentor could also bounce a token. And then Unable to Scream would take out another one here, too. Oh, 3 steps ahead. Oh, no, guys. Oh, no. Good game. Well, that could have gone either way easily, easily. I do feel like we got unlucky with the mana. I do want to also double check here. We're about 24 minutes in. Let's go double check the deck list. Make sure I actually do have 25 because this is a very mana hungry build that definitely wants 25. And honestly, after that game, I'm considering 26, but more testing required for sure. Yeah, 25 mana. Okay. I guess a big thing too is like when you play your early cards that mill, you're getting rid of a lot of the lands that were stacked on top too. In that game, we didn't really. We only milled 2 lands away, and it was a pretty long game overall. All right, guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Only blue sources in hand, guys, so don't let these new lands fool you. If we don't see a swamp or an island, that's this is a pretty bad hand. We should mulligan. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Triple Grimoire. And it got much, much slower. At least we have the Surveil here. I'm not going to go down to 5 here, guys. We're going to keep it and hope that the Surveil pulls us through a little bit. Okay, I got distracted. Also, guys, the YouTube nonsense. If you like the video, make sure you drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well, because it really does help out the channel. So thank you, guys. All right. Now to the game. Terror Tide was actually pretty good in that last one, right? Unfortunately, I wasn't even considering a counterspell. Overlord's probably good. I am a little concerned. That we're not going to see the mana again here. I'm going to send the Bitter Triumph and hope I don't regret that. Because if it's Golgari, they got a lot of powerful creatures packed in. Okay, Mosswood Dread Knight. There's some more mana. Okay. Now, again, I'm kind of afraid. But there's no way we don't play the Overlord, right? Oh, nice. We did end up milling 1 land, but that's fine. Definitely grab that Teferi. Definitely. Another Grimoire in the grave, too. Swing with that Dread Knight. Sunslayer. Okay, Fabled Passage. Mentor might just have to come down. Sunslayer is actually terrifying because destroy enchantment, they pop the Overlord. We really want that Overlord to survive. I don't want to thin the deck right now either. Mentor might just come down for a chump block on Sunslayer, and that seems pretty bad. Trading into the Dread Knight seems pretty bad too. It's awkward, but we're going to do it. And it might be chump on the Sunslayer, but then we still have to deal with it, which is probably going to be the Terror Tide. They're going to get rid of the Overlord anyways. So with the Terror Tide hitting for 5 now, I'd love to pick up a Shieldred too, but we're getting pretty low. Okay, another Swamp. I'm going to wait on thinning the deck list, and I hope that's okay. We're just going to go Swamp. Terror Tide number 1. It picks up 2 good creatures, but Dread Knight's going to be able to come back next turn. But we really should. I mean, what else are we going to do for the turn? There's nothing in hand. Especially since I sent that Bitter Triumph earlier, which I probably should have kept that on top, right? Dread Knight. Another mana. Dread Knight. Okay. Ooh, Starving Revenant. Okay, we are close, guys. We are very close to this combo. It should be a relatively easy combo to pull off, right? I think so. Okay, we need an island. We have 6 out of the 8 for the Descend. So Teferi, they know we have the Teferi. Drawing would be great, but we probably want to generate a creature. We might lose Teferi right away, though, because they just go spot removal on the 2/2, then swing with Dread Knight. Maybe I should have drawn. Because if I drew a card, we'd have an extra card in hand. Okay, Tear Asunder. Yeah, we definitely should have drawn, guys. Just based on what we were up against, I should have known it was going to be spot removal. So kind of a bad play, but that's okay. Fabled Passage, guys. We're there. We're there, man. Fabled Passage. So this actually works out because Teferi was an extra permanent too. Let's play the Grimoire. Wait a minute. Am I going to die? No, we're drawing 5. No, yeah, then they have 7 on the board. Crap. We have to start with the Revenant and hope that the Revenant doesn't die. Okay. Because they have 3 here and 4 here. If we play this and draw 5, we have 7 cards in hand. They swing for 7. We lose 7 cards in our hand. When we have no cards in our hand, we lose the game. So we have to start with Revenant, and somehow it has to survive the turn, guys, which makes me very sad, but nowhere to run. Tidecaller is pretty good too. I don't want to lose that much life, though. We'll draw this. We gain 1. We lose 3. We're down to 9. Nowhere to run in hand. Come on, Revenant. Come on. Survive the turn, buddy. Come on. I'm on the edge of my seat. It's Surveil. They got 6 mana open here, guys. 3 cards in hand. Sheoldred is not spot removal, huh? Are we okay? I'm gonna try that Nowhere to Run on the Dread Knight. Wait a minute, Sheoldred. That's terrible for us. Wait a minute. How do I deal with this Sheoldred, man? That it was not clicking at all that we are gonna get super punished from Sheoldred here. Oh, guys. That it just hit me. It just hit me. You know what? With no great way around the Sheoldred, I'm just gonna do it anyways. Let's just do it. It's fun. Like, we could try our dandiest. Wait, do these go on the stack above the Sheoldred? No, Sheoldred goes on the stack, right? After, yeah. So we're gonna... we have to discard 2 cards here. This is crazy. This is silly. So, Sheoldred's like the absolute bane of this deck's existence. However, something noteworthy is if we had like extra mana... good game, opponent, good game. It was, in fact, not an oopsie-daisy, so we did it intentionally. But there is something to note here. If we had, like, 2 mana open, and we drew into a Bitter Triumph, of course we could go Bitter Triumph, instant speed, pop that Sheoldred, right? And I think that would have worked. Yeah. I'm sad. I was so excited. I thought we were gonna... I thought we were going to pull off that combo and win that game. Sheoldred came down at the perfect time. Outside of that, there was probably a better way through there. There probably was. Guys, 33 minutes in, we got to go one more. For sure. For sure. We have yet to, like, successfully win with the combo. I think it should be relatively easy to pull off, right? So, I don't know. I feel like we could get there in this last one. Okay, there's the Grimoire. Bitter Triumph. Yeah, Sheoldred's a big problem, so we might want more removal that can deal with Sheoldred. We can't complain about this hand. Start with a Fabled Passage for the opponent. A Swamp. I will also start with a Swamp. Plains. Deep Cavern Bat, you get out of my hand, opponent. So it's one of the pieces of spot removal, I guess. The one that they don't want us to use on the bat, which would be the Nowhere to Run. Yes, because then we have to use the Bitter Triumph on the bat if we want to get it back. Oh, we got another Nowhere to Run anyways, which I'll just hold open for the opponent's turn. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, something I'm thinking is like dropping a Nowhere to Run and going up another Bitter Triumph for those specific Sheoldred matchups, right? I'm kind of afraid this isn't going to land right now. Do they have something for their bat? Virtue. Okay. Just doing that for fun, I guess. All right, more mana. I don't mind seeing it. Go Invasion of Amonkhet, because I'm not afraid of their 2/2 right now. See what we mill. If we had one more card in hand in that last game too, we could have started with the Grimoire. Either way, the opponent was going to play the Shieldred probably. Okay, Overlord, nice. We do have enough mana for now, so milling these 2 lands isn't too bad. And the Grimoire is already in hand, so we don't need another one. We swing for 2. More mana, I guess I don't really mind seeing it. We might save this Overlord for 5. Probably decent. Keep the Nowhere Left to Run open for the turn, I guess. With the Bitter Triumph, too. Yeah, let's save the Overlord for 5. Because that's like something honestly, I might have been overlooking. It's just, it seems much more efficient to play it on 2, but when you're this close to 5, I mean, it's still a 5/5 creature, which is something. Yeah, we'll go Nowhere Left to Run on the 2/2. Three mana open, not too much from the opponent so far. Outside of some mill. Wait, I've not been paying attention on their turn. Why is there so many cards in the opponent's grave? What's going on here? Oh, we milled them with the Invasion of Amonkhet. That's why. Jeez, man. I was so confused for a second. Okay, another Verge. Okay. Yeah. No blue over there, so let's just play this Overlord. Be very happy about it. See what we mill. See if we grab something powerful. There we go, guys. Starving Revenant and the Grimoire in hand. Let's pull off this combo. I believe we want to start with the Grimoire because it's harder for opponents to remove. If we play Revenant and they go like Sunfall, we're just going to cry ourselves to sleep right there on the spot. So we would start with the Grimoire, and then we start the cycle of drawing with the top ability on the Revenant when we play it. Zoraline. Oh man, I hope they tap out next turn too. Deep Cavern Bat, you get out of my hand, you monster. Maybe they just take Bitter Triumph. Right? If they take Revenant, okay, they took the Bitter Triumph, nice. I was gonna say they were about to delay us for an entire turn. Oh wait, guys, we're still gonna be delayed for an entire turn anyways. We don't have enough permanents in the grave. Man. That's rough. Ancient One's decent because we could play it and then go for the draw, discard. And then mill. Draw, discard, mill. Oh, that's why. Oh, yeah. Overlord. That'll get us there. Let's start with the swing. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing to copy. We're just going to go for the Invasion of Amonkhet swing. Still got 35 cards left in the deck. Let's see if we milled something to copy too. I wasn't looking when it was going into the grave. No, actually, it's only the Deep Cavern Bat. But I'll tell you what, a 4/4 Deep Cavern Bat's no joke. Beza, cut down, temporary lockdown. It's probably temporary lockdown. Beza might be an issue. I don't know. Let's get that Grimoire down. All right. Draw 5. Our hand is now our life total. What you got, opponent? All we need to do is survive the turn, drop the Revenant, draw on the Surveil, and start the process. Okay, they tap out. That's huge news for us, man. Huge news. Okay, let's do this. Get the Revenant down. We just keep both on top here. No worries at all. Well, no. Because either way we'll have to discard. So we'll just keep one on top. That's all we need. Because we'll have to discard 3 here too. Or does it... I guess the discard 3 is actually at the bottom of the stack. Oh, nice. Yeah, there we go, guys. We did the combo. We got there for the last game. This is awesome. Opponent's even playing it out. Oh, man. There were so many, like, moments in this game where I was like, but wait. Or, like, I was like, yeah, GG opponent, GG. Holy cow. Yeah, there were so many times in that game where I thought one thing was happening, but the other thing was happening instead. I was just getting myself so confused there. Luckily, none of that mattered. We got the combo. Very satisfied. 41 minutes into the video. Let's go talk about this deck list again. And completing some daily quests, too. Beautiful stuff. And end of video pack. Heck yeah. Lost Caverns, though. That's not a new pack. Oh. Have I played with this yet? Growing Rites of Itlamok. I don't know if I played with that yet. Yeah, maybe I'll look into it at some point. It's surprising how many cards in Standard I actually haven't built a deck with, you know? All right. Starving combo. Cool stuff, man. Here's the deck list again. Thank you again for the suggestion in the Discord. Neat. Big thing here, right? We need a way to deal with Shieldred when the opponents play it, because Shieldred is in fact a card that is played with. So probably dropping a Nowhere to Run and going up another Bitter Triumph is not going to hurt anything. Well, it technically could hurt something because you want permanence in the grave. And so that's another card that's not a permanent. But look. There it is. 5 cards over here. That leaves 55 permanents. I think we'll be fine. Terror Tide was actually decent, right? I think I'm going to keep these. I like it. On 4 mana, once you drop your 4th, if you went first, there's actually going to be a lot of moments where on 4 you have to drop the board wipe. So how often is Terror Tide going to be chunky enough of a -X/-X ability to deal with the things that you need to deal with on your turn 4? I'd say pretty often, I hope. There's some... In the early game, our main mill option here is the Overlord. Then we go into like Invasion of Amonkhet or the Well. So we're curving that way. See, no 1-mana cards that's actually milling. So no great ways to actually get those permanents into the grave early on outside of Overlord and the Invasion. And then after that, we're curving into the Revenant with the Surveil ability as well. Maybe more early mill wouldn't be terrible in the 1-drop spot. So I am looking at this Stalactite Stalker as a potential card to cut. And if we look at, we definitely want permanence, I'd say. We need 1 mana. I'm probably not going to drop this in the video, by the way. We just got to go over, like, at least some kind of consideration here. So here's the 1 mana cards that have mill in it somewhere. So we have a Font of Progress here. 2 oil counters on it. Yeah, it's too expensive. The Skull Crab is a new one. A 1-mana 0/3 with Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, target player mills 2 cards. How many enchantments do we have? We do have 11 enchantments. A 0/3 is not... Probably not. Probably not that one, right? Because then, again, we are relying very heavily on, like, Overlord as one of our enchantments, too. Where the heck are the other enchantments? Oh, Nowhere to Run, too. And we just dropped a Nowhere to Run for another Bitter Triumph because Shieldred's a problem. Okay, Skull Crab, I guess, is something to consider, but probably not. What do we got here? Tap to mill a card, craft with an island. Okay, turns into a gondola. All right, maybe. What do we got here? Fester Leech. Deals combat damage to a player. You mill 2 cards. I don't know how often you're going to get that little 1/1 through. Oh, Gnawing Vermin's a decent one. Enters, target player mills 2 cards. When it dies, target creature you don't control gets -1/-1. Actually like Gnawing Vermin a lot. That's definitely something to consider. We don't have much of a sacrifice theme. Tiny Bones. Whenever a legendary creature. We don't have any legendary creatures, do. Oh, the ancient one is legendary. Outside of that, it does give us early discard if we want, also forcing the opponent to discard. I don't think that's the answer either. Millennium Calendar. Where, oh, yeah, I was like, where's the mill in this? Yeah, Millennium. That's funny. Guys, I'm thinking Gnawing Vermin. And it doesn't have to be mill necessarily. I could like look up 1 mana that say like discard or something too, or other things that could potentially help us get stuff into the grave. So like map tokens or something, you know, things like that. I don't usually change it up if it did well enough. But I'm going to drop the Stalactite Stalker, and I don't think anyone's going to complain about that too, because the Stalker, I don't even think we saw it do a thing today, right? It is a rare as well, and we're actually trading this rare out for a couple uncommons. And I do think that these uncommons, just for more early mills, going to be a little bit more important than the Stalactite Stalker, which is apparently really hard for me to say right now. Okay, another thing, guys, the Unable to Scream really didn't do the thing at all today, right? So I could also see dropping one of these, even going up a 3rd Vermin. Man, call me crazy. We're changing this one up a lot. But I think it's going to be decent changes overall. So when you're putting the mana base together with these brand new lands, the Verges, you got to consider like when you're not seeing any of your other basics, which is going to be pretty rare, then it's only going to be a blue source. And when we're already leaning heavily black, like it actually makes a lot of sense here. If you treat them as extra islands, then we actually have an even split. But they're not extra islands because most of the time they're also going to produce that black source. So I actually think the mana base is like perfect. I wouldn't go up any, I wouldn't go down any. I'd say we got pretty unlucky in the games where we didn't see a lot of mana. I guess like 26 is something to consider, but I'm not convinced. You go up to 26 mana, maybe you drop like a Grimoire down to 3, but probably not because we're a combo list and we really want to see the combo, right? So it is legendary though. That's important too. Fabled Passage was perfect. Don't forget Sewers also counts as an island and a swamp, so it really does work really well with that Verge too, which is actually one of the reasons why Restless Reef is only a 1 of 2. Guys, I don't think I have anything else to say. I hope you guys agree with all the changes I made as well. I actually really like it. A lot of 3-ofs now, which is interesting. I think it actually works out. And the curve is actually pretty nice too. But we don't have that many 5-drops realistically because we kind of, you know, we got to shift the Overlord as a 2-drop sometimes as well. So I think the curve looks even better than this. Outside of that, guys, what should have made the cut here? I feel like there's probably some more mill strategies that we kind of missed out on. Maybe we should revisit this and just make the deck look a little bit different. I do think it performed well enough, though, overall. Yeah, I'm still going to label it jank, though, for sure. Like, combo jank. But it was really cool, right? I have nothing else to say. At this point, I'm just rambling. So, hey, if you made it this far into the video, I super duper appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video.